in bottles or in books, clearly label the product they attempt to sell.
Good evening all, this is Starbird, and I disagree. Before I start, I just want to say a big thanks to everyone who has supported me thus far. Growing a channel is not easy, but it's growing gradually, and I'm starting to get quite a few more emails, feedback, and general comments, most of which have been very useful, even from those who don't agree with me. So today we're going to take a look at the second most requested MGTOW for me to tackle, an individual by the name of Traversable MGTOW, what a name, and how he wants to use dirty tactics to essentially convince non-MGTOW men to go MGTOW. But of course we all know that MGTOW isn't recruiting, right?
Hello MGTOWs, hello men, hello MRAs.
Hello there. Wait, did you just say MRAs? You do know that MRAs aren't MGTOW, right? And you do know that many MRAs are directly opposed to your kind of radical MGTOW, right?
I wanted to talk a little today about social recruitment, proselytization, indoctrination to MGTOW, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing. We're trying to recruit members into MGTOW.
It's a cult, you know.
So how do we go about doing that? So who does recruitment? Everybody does recruitment. Facebook does recruitment. Employment does recruitment. The Army does recruitment. Jobs do recruitment. Colleges do recruitment. Churches do recruitment. They all do it a different way.
Oh dear. Less than a minute in, and you've already taken a left turn into Looney Tunes lane. You are talking about two different things here. Stuff like Facebook advertises in order to get customers, ideologies such as religions, and I'm glad you do this parallel here, recruit.
But we don't want to be like a cult, or like a cult of feminism that bases their ideologies on lies.
I'm afraid that ship has sailed.
And that's the thing about MGTOW. MGTOW is probably one of the most truthful things in the ideologies of MGTOW. It's very truthful.
MGTOW is truthful. Well, I will give you this. You are a lot more honest than a lot of YouTube MGTOWs that I've seen, in that you are upfront and outright, that you are trying to recruit people to join MGTOW. Aside from this, no, you aren't especially honest. MGTOW, at least from what I've seen, uses a witch's brew made up of some facts, some half-truths, a few sad stories, misleading stats, and a big load of fear-mongering and manipulation. I want you to keep this in mind, this idea that MGTOW is honest, for the rest of the video.
But if you do run into a mangina and you do get an argument going, or you do have a chance to sway his ideologies.
Ah, yes, the old mangina line. You know, I was informed recently that MGTOWs didn't use shaming language.
There was one case of a man that had a female brain. You'll probably hear that case brought up, but that's not typical. Most men typically are right-sided in their brain. We've talked about the female brain and how the female brain works on mostly the left side, or a shared. They'll say a shared. They change this. They seem to change this every year or so. If it displeases the feminists, they change how they think their brains work. But
yeah, brains, ramble. I'm going to cut most of this out. The commonly accepted data right now seems to suggest that the differences in male and female thought styles are caused less by the left-right brain and more by male brains having more connections within hemispheres and women having more connections across hemispheres.
Basically, what they're saying is they're emotional, and that comes from their kind of emotion comes from the left side of the brain. The male emotion comes from the right side of the brain, which has negative emotions. And when you talk to a mangina, he's going to respond to negative emotions, like most men do, shaming.
Yes, because any ideology that requires people to be shamed or guilted into joining is a pretty damn good ideology in my books. Fucking hell.
It's like this. If you want someone to play a round of golf, give me a call. If you want someone to feel guilty about the way they choose to live, call someone else.
So we know that manginas get their identity filtered through the female, the gyno, feminism. They get their identity filtered through it. That's why they're there. And what MGTOW has to do is give them an identity. Feminism makes you insignificant. MGTOW approves of you no matter how much or what they tell you.
And ramble some more. What he's basically saying here is that MGTOW is trying to give people a different identity, which sounds a bit culty to me. MGTOW approves of you no matter what. Are you sure MGTOW isn't a cult?
Feminism makes you insignificant. It's a negative word. It's a use of negation, and these are words that feminism often use on us.
As opposed to words like mangina or simp that MGTOWs seem to love to use these days. Ugh.
On us MGTOWs, and we hear them all the time. It's control, inhibited, manipulated. There's a lot of words, dehumanized, ashamed, shame. They try to use shame on us. Invalidated, resentful, ridiculed, teased, underestimated, worthless. Does this sound like you're talking to a feminist? Yeah, they use these words. They use these words a lot.
Yeah, sure. Feminists do tend to ridicule and tease men. But seriously, you are the one talking about shaming and manipulating men into joining your cause. How are you any better?
Because they have an effect on the male. Now, what other males do we have? We have blue pill males. We have alpha males. Let's talk about the alpha male and how to proselyte an alpha male.
No. I hate to use this argument, but I see very, very few alpha males in MGTOW. This has less to do with women and status, and more to do with the fact that they are just doing their own thing. Sort of a real MGTOW, I guess. Okay, I'm done here. That was a very annoying video. To any MGTOWs watching this, all of you who tell me that no, MGTOW is not an ideology, and no, MGTOW is not recruiting, what do you think about this stuff? It seems to me that if MGTOW is really as personal and noble as it's claimed to be, then the real MGTOWs need to start looking at problem sects within their own ideology, and be better at damn well denouncing them. This is a problem with any ideology that is not internally consistent and that lacks orthodoxy. As soon as it starts getting traction, it is wide open to infiltration and co-opting by radical or extremist elements. And then the entire thing devolves into a spiral of exclusion, purity testing, no true Scotsman's fallacies, and general fail. And boy, are we seeing this already. MGTOWs, get your damn house in order, please. Well, that's me for the day. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave me a like. If you want to see more like this, why not subscribe? If you don't agree with me, have any criticisms or suggestions, feel free to let me know in the comments. Thanks all. Starbird out. Cheers.
Because fanaticism and ignorance is forever busy and needs feeding.